Welcome to the FS Economy tutorial video, Understanding the FSE Airport Coordinate System. The purpose of this tutorial video is to explain how the FSE Airport database works, how it's different than your simulator's airport database, why it's not practical to change the FSE database, and to cover the different problems that this can cause when using FSE. Describing how to overcome those problems will be covered in their own tutorials. The first thing to understand is that FSE is flight simulator agnostic. It does not care what flight simulator you are using, as long as there is a compatible client to communicate between your simulator and FSE. Currently, several Microsoft and X-Plane simulators are supported. Because of this, there are many different airport databases in use by FSE players. First, of course, there are the default databases supplied with each simulator version. Additionally, several simulator platforms update their database constantly to reflect real-world changes. And finally, all simulator users have the ability to customize their simulator's airport database. They can add, move, and even remove airports. Thus, it is impossible for the FSE airport database to exactly match the airport database you see in your simulator. You may have airports that don't exist in FSE. FSE may have airports that don't exist in your simulator. Airports that exist in both your simulator and in FSE may not have the same ICAO code, or some airports in FSE may exist at different geographical coordinates than what is reflected within your simulator. When FSE was designed, the decision was to use the FS9 default airport database as the in-game database. There are currently no plans to update the FSE database despite several real-world changes over the years. Although players using the default FS9 simulator will have the closest matching database, you do not need to have FS9 in order to enjoy FSE. However, if you do not have FS9, you do need to understand the differences and how to overcome them. And that understanding can be gained from this tutorial. Let's start by reviewing how the FSE Airport Coordinate System works. As you can see on the FSE website, the International Airport in Seattle, Washington has the ICAO code KSEA and the latitude and longitude coordinates of 47.4488 north and 122.309 west. These coordinates on the website are taken directly from the FSE database and are displayed for you. If you ever need to know what the geographical coordinates are the FSE will recognize, simply look at this location. Since this is a major international airport, it is likely that all simulator platforms will very closely match the FSE database. Now let's examine how your simulator communicates with the FSE game server. We'll start by loading up our simulator, in this case FSX, and place our aircraft on the default runway in Seattle. By using the Shift-Z key combination, we can display the geographical coordinates of our aircraft within the simulator. You will notice that these coordinates do not exactly match what is in the FSE database. When your simulator communicates its geographical location to the FSE game server, it does so by sending the coordinates of your aircraft's location through the client and over the Internet. Other information, such as the ICAO code of your simulator's location and whether or not you are even at an airport, are not communicated to the server. The FSE server receives the coordinates and uses a Great Circle Route calculation to determine your FSE location by determining the closest FSE airport within the FSE database to your simulator's transmitted coordinates. FSE then determines your FSE location by determining which airport in the FSE database is the closest to your simulator's aircraft location. Now that you understand the mechanics of how FSE determines your location, it's probably dawning on you that this might cause a few problems during FSE gameplay, especially if you're not using the default FS9 database. Each of these common problems and how to get around them will be looked at more closely in follow-on tutorials.